Okay, this is remote viewing session 4182024A. Right from the get-go, I got the feeling of floating. My initial everything was floating, and I've done enough off-planet type stuff or space-related stuff, knowing that I've had this feeling before at Mars missions, moon missions, stuff like that. So I got the next series of impressions and stuff were space, openness. It was very vast. Of course, the skies had an upward feeling. Floating again feeling that was a major thing for a while. High tech NASA type mission control. There's a little more information besides NASA on the second part on the other side. While remote viewing this stuff, I was getting information regarding astronauts with spacesuits. I saw the white suits they wear. Two males. Uh, the time frame I got from this period of what's going on. It's actually a space testing type thing in space. It was 7 to 10 days total. There was one main test, and with a couple smaller tests they do inside. One was outside the space station, or you want to call it this craft or whatever, that type of thing, and the other couple were inside. The other two were, one was plant related, and the other ones were cell growth related. I actually saw under like a petri dish cells and stuff, and it was testing for medical applications. I got back some more information regarding it was clear, like the atmosphere was clear to me. It was opened up. It was all science related. Scientists were involved. My AI was interesting because it was a combination of feeling very relaxed, like floating, relaxed feeling, and also guarded. That was new to me, that feeling of being guarded. And I had the sayings come through saying, "We're doing our duty." It's for research purposes and stuff like that. Now, the second part of this over here, part A, is it's either NASA, Blue Origin, which is the Jeff Bezos space company, or SpaceX, Elon Musk, or they're all involved in this in some form. I couldn't figure out. I tried to get the logo and I couldn't get anything that would say one company was doing this. It may be a little bit of all of them involved in this testing thing, or they're all interested in it. I do believe it was just the American companies, because I know other countries are interested in, technology and stuff like this. So the whole session concluded as they're in a rocket type on Earth. They're lifted off into space. The capsule goes to a docking area. They run their testing right there. And, over 7 to 10 days, eventually they come back down to Earth. But the main test, which is interesting to me, was pretty cool. The main testing was, I put NASA mission control, but it could be SpaceX or Blue Origin. It comes from Earth. It looks like a satellite dish configuration. It was very interesting for me because it's light technology. That's what came through. It was a way of communicating. I guess you would say it's sort of like lasers, how they send a signal. But this was high tech. It's being developed more and more. I think we do have some of it now. This is the next generation. It's like upgrading Windows, that type of thing. That's what this whole testing is about, getting better at this particular method that they use. And it's for communication purposes. So the testing with the device looks like a satellite dish. It sends signals in burst. It's not a continuous signal wave. It's in burst. And this is the space station end of the whole thing here, where the astronauts at. There's an unusual looking space arm device thing that goes outside the space station. And it looks like this, looks like a space arm, but it has an interesting end to it. And that's what receives the signal. But they can also send it back too. That's what this testing is all about, is improving on this method of communication. It's very high tech, very quickly done too. And it's done at different times. It's not just done at a certain time. So they're trying to work out the bugs in the system. So it reminded me, it's funny because I had like a funny moment when I was doing this. of the astronauts talking to themselves, like type of thing, saying it reminds them as when they were kids. It's like two baseball gloves. It's like catching something and throwing it back to the person. They're catching it, the signal, and throwing it back. They're catching it, throwing it back. The only anomalies I could get, because we're in space, I was trying to figure. I didn't get no UFO, no alien stuff, nothing at all. There was a little bit of a feeling that I was being watched by another, maybe a country, not alien stuff or any of that stuff, but like another country that has satellites in space that were sort of following this, whatever. That was a little bit there, but nothing unusual in the esoteric end. The anomalies, I felt very weird in time, especially during this testing phase. It seemed to me like time slowed down. It was a very weird feeling inside me. It was like very slow motion like and stuff. And the other thing was that this occasionally happens. It's not common. There's unusual atmospheric phenomena. Now, I don't even know what exactly that even means, other than I just felt like when they're in the station, the two astronauts, randomly some weird phenomena would happen outside in the space area. Not UFOs, not aliens, but like a phenomenon. I thought it was maybe like a weird lightning type weather related, like a space weather thing or something. It just randomly occurs. Is it dangerous? I couldn't get that, but it's something that I felt like the two astronauts would say, well, we're having that anomaly happen again. And they record it. I mean, there's cameras on these space station stuff, but it's something that the average person on Earth or public wouldn't get to see, like type things, because they don't know how to explain it. And it would be put into the category of, I guess it's just the way it happens in space or something like that. So the whole objective or conclusion of my remote viewing session is that it's a NASA type, possibly SpaceX or Blue Origin with NASA or all together, doing advanced, testing of, I call light related, like transfer of technology, of like communication type stuff, very high tech. And I think in the future, when they weed out the bugs, this is going to be what we use for like cell phones now, that type of thing. That was my sort of conclusion at the end, was what's the purpose of all this for the future of us? Maybe 20 years from now or 10 years, whatever, there'll be some technology where our normal hi-fi systems, like our cell phone systems and stuff, is going to be obsolete, and they'll use this type of idea, bouncing light signals with data inside that signal, and that would be like the future, so to speak. But this is, they're trying this out. They got some of it now, but they're going to perfect it for the future, whatever. And that's my remote viewing session.